Hey, what's up everybody? In this video we're going to play the last few games of classic Star Wars Legion. A last dance, and you know what time it is. It is time for Skirmish Tournament Q3. If you don't know, I started playing Star Wars Legion about 2 years ago now, but up until this year I never really played anyone other than my buddy Rick. And as it so happens, he started organizing these very casual, beginner-friendly skirmish tournaments for Star Wars Legion. It was around the time that this channel started that the first of those tournaments was coming up. The Q1 tournament, my very first tabletop gaming tournament. I made a video about it, and the ones that followed after that, a playlist can be checked out right here. And to summarize those tournaments, it was an amazing experience. I am not the competitive player at all, and meeting new people can sometimes scare me. Especially when I tend to go like, let me check how many dice this attack does. These tournaments were meant as a primer for new players to get into the game, and it was actually kind of like how this channel developed over the last couple of months. Since this is probably the last time that we are making a video about classic Legion, I can't help to get a little nostalgic about it. And that is why, for this tournament, I'm playing Han Solo on a Landspeeder. Yes, Han Solo as a human turret on the Landspeeder. Something that is not possible in the new version of Legion anymore. The Landspeeder deals out insane amounts of damage, has heavy cover, and wrecks everyone in its path. Not to mention Han Solo with low profile on a transport, shooting Pierce 2 shots at high value targets, twice because of Gunslinger. My idea was to do drive-bys with Mr. Han Solo turn 1 and 2 and then returning him to safety, close to his fuzzball friend that by that time hopefully took enough damage to trigger his enrage keyword. But that's just half of it. This list is not called Han Solo and the Pretty Boys for no reason. In the months leading up to the tourney, I painted up the fleet troopers, which I really liked the look of. I played them one time over at Rick's. That night they attacked once, rolled 5 crits on white dice. Okay.
Holy sh**.
They became an auto-include right then and there. I filled the rest of the points up with the Rebel Troopers with a Z6 for more extra dice, cause more extra is more better. A Commando Strike team, and there we have it, Han Solo and the Pretty Boys. I playtested the list with Rick, and yes, it was a lot of fun. Competitive? Probably not, but who cares? Rick focused fire on my Landspeeder and blew it up 3rd round. Luckily, Han Solo survived with some uncanny luck and Chewie to protect him. Chewie ultimately won the game by sprinting to grab the all-important objective. So before we head off to the tournament, I want to talk about New Legion for a bit. I made an initial thoughts video about it and I had no idea that it would reach so many people. It was kind of scary actually. You see, I am not one to make negative videos and be all mopey about when things inevitably change in the hobby space. To quote from the eternal wisdom of the OC Summer Roberts.
He says you can either ride change or change rides you.
Or Han Solo rides a Landspeeder. Anyways, it was truly shitty of me to downgrade someone's design work just because it was not to my taste, and for that I really want to apologize. I still don't like the new sizes for the upgrade cards, and I will always love the look of Classic Legion more than I do with the new one. So does this mean that I'm leaving Star Wars Legion?
I'm not leaving! The show goes on!
There's lots of things to be excited about. I'm already cooking up a few Rebel lists with excessive amounts of core units, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Now with that out of the way, let's head over to Tabletop Kingdom Haarlem for the Q3 Skirmish Tournament. It's an exciting day, not only because of the tournament, but because one of the biggest bosses in my own little community took a 3-hour train ride to play his very first games of Legion with us. The tables were set. Rick did an amazing job again, and my very first matchup was against, you guessed it, the one, the only, CELESTRIEN. CELESTRIEN played like his second game of Legion, and while I gave him some pointers, it really wasn't necessary. In fact, it was a really close game. He made me fight for every inch, and he positioned his lethal Cat Bane in a way that it was very hard to hit him. Not to mention, CELESTRIEN basically drowned him in dodge tokens every single turn. The objective was the custom one that Rick came up with, killing commanders, operatives and heavies. I focused on wiping out his commander with my fleets, while my Landspeeder was going to town as CELESTRIEN's B1s. Who, by the way, look very cool. He has a custom paint scheme. Awesome job. Han Solo had to deal with some serious firepower, but uncanny luck saved him time and time again. Seriously, I missed most of my saves, but I corrected them with uncanny luck. Cat Bane was impossible to kill, but I managed to chew all but one wound off of him. At the end, Chewbacca was in arm's reach of Cat Bane, but since CELESTRIEN had wisely ignored him not to trigger Chewbacca's enrage ability, I couldn't charge Cat Bane in the end. I took the game, but hats off to CELESTRIEN for understanding the rules even with so little actual game time. After that it was already lunchtime and I took a bye round, meaning I wouldn't play that round. I watched the matches unfold and man was it lethal. Entire armies got tabled and Rick had absolutely no mercy for CELESTRIEN in the second round, killing Cat Bane in the very first turn with his Death Troopers. Now round 3 was me against Rick. I played Rick many times before and I think we're pretty even when you're looking at the wins and losses against each other. But this was the very first competitive game that we play against each other. Notice how I use quotation marks. These tourneys are never really competitive, and if anything, I think most people are just trying out some fun, quirky lists. But nevertheless, the clash was upon us. Empire versus Rebels, Krennic and the Death Troopers versus Solo and the Pretty Boys. Let's go!
Let's go.
Turn 0, I already knew what the plan was. Uber aggressive play. Han Solo taking Uber. I positioned my Landspeeder with Han Solo to get to the middle of the board as soon as I could. The Fleet Troopers and the Landspeeder would have to chew off as much of the 2 units of Death Troopers as possible to beat Rick to the objective in the endgame. My fleets ran up to Rick's strike team first, killing them turn 1. That was one important threat gone. Now I could focus fire on the Death Troopers with my Landspeeder. I tried to chew off some of each unit to make it easier to wipe them off the board later. The aggressive play left my fleets in a very fragile position, but they somehow managed to survive with 2 models left. Han Solo almost killed the second unit and we were only in turn 2. And the next turn I pulled the ultimate Han Solo asshole card. Change of plans. I knew that Rick had to act quickly before the Death Troopers would die, so I knew he would pull the deploy the garrison card, which killed me the last time we playtested. But obviously with change of plans, I denied him that card. So if I managed to kill the Death Troopers this turn, that card would be a lot less effective. My strike team took a shot at Krennic, while the Landspeeder killed off the last of the Death Troopers. I also took a shot in the Stormtrooper unit to kill this annoying rocket launcher guy in the unit. And all Rick could do was try to contest the objective in the middle, which left him out in the open. They would be cannon fodder for my strike team and my Rebel Trooper unit who moved up since turn 1. At the end I managed to table Rick and took all the victory points I could get for a near perfect game. It was the first time that I played really aggressively, but still think about the left flank being in position to score the objective. Like always, dice rolls were a big part of this game. I rolled very hot, but it was nice to see that my last game of Old Legion, everything went according to plan, and Han Solo on the Landspeeder was just awesome to run. It was just a lot of fun. As usual, we got some nice loot provided to us by the people of Tabletop Kingdom Haarlem. And I'd also like to give a huge shout out to Maarten, who printed out these awesome things for everybody to enjoy in the new version of Legion. And talking about Maarten, by the way, I went to visit him. If you want to see one of the sickest Star Wars Legion tables you'll ever see, be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the upcoming video. It will be online in like 2 weeks probably. And as cheesy as it may sound, tournament days like this is what gets me excited to try out the new version of Legion. Even though I was a bit grumpy and butthurt in the initial thoughts video, the community will always find a way to make it work. We're all in this together. I've printed out the rules, I read them a couple of times, so soon it is go time for me and Rick to start playing games of New Legion. Look forward to some live battle reports and maybe even some learn to play videos in the upcoming months. It will take us some time to properly know the rules to make content about it, obviously, but when we do, we will go full force with this. So if you like the video, consider subscribing. I do videos every other week and live streams every single week. In the last one, I painted up something I'm quite happy with, by the way. This Wookiee warrior. Tried some non-metallic metal stuff. So yeah, join in for the next live stream, which probably will be on Monday or Wednesday. For now, thanks a lot for watching and I will see you guys later.